Yo, what's good? How everybody feeling out there today? Today's topic been on my mind for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Me and somebody I grew up with, he's a little bit younger than me, had a discussion on white privilege. He's a white guy. He didn't think that all white people benefited from white privilege, and I tried to tell him that all white people do. You just is out there. He just don't want to see it, because if you look, you'll be able to see it. Now, in full disclosure, my wife is white, so I've witnessed it firsthand, from the different things that we as a couple who's been going through, and we've been together going on 20 years. So that's a long time. But let's get into this history lesson and show you how white people are privileged since the beginning of the creation of the United States. First and foremost, the first public school was built in 1635. That was the first public school. The first allowance, or the first time black people was able to teach their kids, was in 1870. And they did it then in churches and in homes. 1870, from 1635 to 1870. The first school building, brick and mortar place that was built for colored kids, black kids, was in 1890. Now, that's 255-year difference of how far ahead that white people were compared to black people being free and able to learn, to better themselves. 255-year difference. Yeah, that's what I said. 255-year difference. White privilege. The first college was built in 1636. So a year after the first elementary school was built, the first college was built, which was Harvard University. Now, the first college that accepted African Americans was in 1869. Let's do those numbers again. 1636, Harvard was built. 1869, Atlanta University was the first college to accept African Americans. That's 233-year difference. Yes, 233-year difference. White privilege. Now, slavery ended in 1865. So from the ending of slavery, and when the first boat came over here, that was 246 years of white people being free. Now, even though they ended slavery, that same year, Jim Crow laws started. So we was not free. We was still being held back. And then just think about this: if you're a white person, when Jim Crow laws started, it was still things done to hold black people back. So since 1636 or 1619, we're gonna say 1619, even though the Constitution was written in 1786, we have been here since 1619. That's when the first slave ship arrived. So from then until 1964, that's how long black people was being held back, not being able to vote, not even being classified as a full human being. That's 345 years of being discriminated against. The whole time, white people was free to do and learn as they please, to grow businesses, to educate their family on the different laws that was changing, things that they can do to help their family prosper in the future. We wasn't even allowed the basic rights to do any of that. They passed specific laws so they wouldn't discriminate. 1964 was the Civil Rights Act. 1965 was the Voting Rights Act. And 1967 was the end of segregation, where they were saying everybody can, you don't have to go through the back door if you was black. You can go through the front door and you can sit down and eat too. But there was still a little bit tension back then, so you could understand. Now, if you're a white person and you feel as though you don't, white privilege doesn't apply to you, ask yourself this question. If somebody had 200 or some years time to prepare for a test, and I only have a year who's going to be further ahead? Of course, the person that had 233 years to prepare. So instead of saying there is no white privilege, ask your ancestors why didn't they set you up in a better situation to where you are living in the low income areas as black people when we are put there based on the Jim Crow laws, the redlining, and things of that nature. All those things are put in place to hold black people back. A white person that's in a low income area can go from there and climb the ladder without being interrupted or no setbacks. But a black person has to work twice as hard just to get a foot in the door. It's 2020 and we are still having the first African American this, first African American that. White people have been running things since 1619. That's where the white privilege come in. Y'all are the majority. Being the majority, you will look out for each other because you have been in power so long that the people who are in the specific places of power for our CEOs, business owners, hiring managers and things, they are white. So they're going to look out for their own people. So that's where the white privilege comes in. You can go from being in a low income neighborhood if you're white and move to a affluent white person neighborhood without anybody blinking an eye. The moment a black person moves there, they said the neighborhood is going down and they would do anything. That's where redlining come in. They would do anything to keep them from getting into those neighborhoods because they feel as though black people are not as smart or don't take care of their stuff just as well as anybody else. So I would ask all my white friends, this is a discussion, not an argument. I would ask all my white friends to go out and look at different things that you see. Just notice how everything that if you're a white person, there's certain places that you can go that you will automatically feel at home or feel welcome, which is anywhere. Black people, certain places we go where we still getting side eyes, still getting held back through the system. It's systematic that holds us back. It's no laws that have ever been passed that says we need to stop discriminating against white people. It's only those against black people because we're the ones who's been in bondage, who were slaves for that many years. So just take this message and think about it and remember, it's a discussion, not an argument. If you disagree, leave a comment. I can have a part 2 to this video if you tell me your point of view. It's nothing to find a common ground because we can agree to disagree. And remember, tomorrow starts a new day.